I threw an old wildflower seed mix in here, not expecting much because it doesn't get that much sun. So I don't know which ones are weeds and which are flowers, but this right here is basil. And I have so much basil, it's not even funny. It grew better in this bed than it did in the pot that I started inside and put in almost full sun. This was also an experimental spot for a cherry tomato because it doesn't get much light. The plant is doing great, but it didn't produce much. The jalapenos have been a little later this year. We didn't have a lot, but it's got quite a bit on it now. We wait till it has little cracky lines in it. You can see these cracky lines. When those get a little browner, then when I pick it, that's when it's hottest. I just canned a few banana peppers the other day. Green onions, we had to cut these back all the time because they get huge. Cilantro is a cool season plant, so I'll reseed that in the fall. I do think next year I'm going to try a giant version of asparagus because the spears are not getting very thick, so we don't eat them. I put corn here knowing that last time I put corn here it didn't get very big, but what the hey, I had to seed. Our habaneros are getting huge but less plentiful. The green beans are going crazy, but they're so pretty. And I've canned some of them. Next year I will get a stringless version. The eggplants are slowing down. They got either diseased or too much water. They're just not doing well. In fact, since this video, I have pulled them. They might have disease, but I don't really care. They have lots of eggplant, but I don't like it. This is what my tomatoes look like right now. They're horrible. I think it is due to so much rain. They just need a dry out period before they get watered again. And all the leaves started turning yellow and brown, so I cut a bunch out. But the new growth has formed over the fence and has seemed to do better. But the green tomatoes that are on the vines are not changing. I've had a handful from the purple Cherokee variety, but I don't like them and will not be growing them next year because they split so easily. I know that excess water can also make them split, but here's more of those purple Cherokee. They did give me enough tomatoes to can some homemade rotel. I've replaced the lemon drop squash with the leeks that were not doing good in the other spot because I had squash bugs really bad. But the lemon drop squash is a smaller squash. Here it is. It has a thicker skin, but it tastes really good. The cayenne pepper plant has done pretty well. I wait till about 4 of them are ready and dehydrate them. It's taken me 2 days to dehydrate them, and then I turn them into crushed red pepper. The Carolina Reapers are starting to put on teeny tiny peppers. The strawberries are looking great over here, but over here the squash was shading them and just ended up killing some of them. But they've been sending off runners, so I'll pull it up from the roots and then cut it from the plant and replant it where it had trouble over here. In the spring I did get a whole lot of strawberries from it though. This tomato is called a yellow pear. It's a little thicker walled than most cherry tomatoes, but it's pretty good. I like it in salads. It's sweet. This is the terrace garden. I planted some pumpkins here, but I know they're not going to get enough light, so I don't know why I did it. But I used to have potatoes. Here's all the spearmint. We have plenty. This tomato was an experiment there. This bed gets a little more than part shade, but given the state of the other tomatoes in the other spot, I can't judge it too harshly. I had all my herbs in pots this year, but the chickens like to dig through them, so I've replanted them here. This is the Floyd garden. There are quite a bit of weeds over on that right side, but we have so many projects going on, it's hard to get over there. We have tons of watermelons right now. We've harvested, I think, 3. About 8 billion pounds of crookneck squash. And I'm about to show you the corn, which we had to pull up. It just wasn't getting big enough, and we knew the hogs, raccoons, and the bugs were already after it. The cows and goats and sheep loved it. It did take a long time to warm up this summer, so I think the germination was a little delayed. Also, I think it got too much rain. The ducks are actually reaching up to eat the seed heads on the tall grass. Surprise, we're getting new animals. Guess what it is? We had to put the panels up temporarily so the cows don't push all the poles down while they're setting in the concrete. Oh, but they still got one, and now it's permanently crooked. And I didn't show it, but most of this pin is covered in 60% shade cloth. We will also be adding metal on top of the roof at least. This is Gwendolyn, and that is Dolores. These are Idaho pasture pigs. They're gilts, or young females, and they will be our breeders. This is a fairly new breed. It was designed in 2006. They're a mixture of Berkshire, which is about the best pork meat you can get, Duroc, which allows them to grow faster than the last breed, which is Cooney Cooney. It's really popular right now, but they have a short upturned nose so that they eat more on the pasture than they do rooting up in the land. They do root, but not very deep. The wild pigs are crazy this year. These bags have all of the caps that we cut off from the frames to extract honey. We send these to our cousin Lark in Minnesota, and she has a shop where she makes chopsticks and soaps and all kinds of things, so I will link her shop in the description below. This bag has wax that's honey-free. We usually scrape off the top of the frames that are connecting the frame to the frame above it, and this will be sent to Derek's brother Doug so he can use it in reloading his muzzle loader. Well, just what we needed, more rain. I've wanted these forever. It's a Texas staple. Her name is Ladybird after Ladybird Johnson. And this is Chisholm. Hook'em horns. Everybody had to check out the new guys. Mainly the bull, and Blake the little bull was interested in Chisholm. Kale just wanted pets and cookies.